you have to do it here. You have to do it in New York. That's gotta be a little.
Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And this morning we're going to look at something a little different. Most of you probably know about it, but I got an email like yesterday or the day before with a reference to a website. Let me show you the website here. This is the website. Actually, what this is a Google's Doc, and it's a Google spreadsheet. And what the spreadsheet is, it's a listing of the HF Shortwave net listing. It's a net listing. Did I say that correct? Anyway, it's a listing of nets which are where people get together on a certain frequency on shortwave in this case and talk about specific subject or just talk about anything. And it's typically scheduled in that you can usually find these nets at a given day, at a given time. Some of them are daily, some of them are one day a week, sometimes a couple times a week. And they're, like I say, they're on the shortwave band. These are amateur radio operators. And they get on the air and they talk about various subjects. Or some of them are just people checking in. They come on and say, I'm KE4GSK located in Clearwater, Florida, and the weather today is beautiful, and I've been having trouble with an antenna, which I wish I could get some help, and if somebody can help me either after the net or whatever, I could use some help. And that's kind of how it goes. That's just in general. And it's on all different types of subjects. It's unbelievable. Look at this. Let's go down this listing. I'm not at the top. Let me go to the top. So here's the top. And it's put out by N1YZ. And he says he's going to move it to a Google Docs, that's what this is now. The original link was to a website, and the website had this basically same information, but you couldn't do anything with it except scroll through it. This is actually a Google's Doc, and you can download it, and then you can sort and search and all that stuff. And it has a lot of valuable information. It tells you what time the net starts and when it ends, the frequency, the band, again, this is amateur radio, what the subject is, the weekdays the net goes on, and there's usually what is called a net controller, or there might be multiple net controllers, and they've kind of organized the net and let people come in and talk and stuff like that. And then over here is information on the internet about this particular net and like what it's about. Again, some of the information is already here. And you can see there is a ton of these. And this is, like I say, by hour under UTC. And let's just look at a couple of them. Here's the Grit Net. I don't recognize most of these. The Awful Ugly Net. Wonder what that's about. Bigfoot Net. What else? The Free Wheelers Net. I don't know if that's people that drive trucks. The Bible Net. And it goes on and on and on. And it's on all day long. Here's South Cars. That's the one that's close to me. I've listened to it over the years. It basically is just people checking in, and they usually give a short weather report, what the temperature is and whether it's overcast or not. But what's ideal about this is it's another reference that you can use to find out if shortwave bands are open. That's what it's for me, in my case. That's what I use it for. I'm not particularly interested in what these people are saying, just the fact that I can hear it. And because it's a net and multiple people call in, and like I say, they give their location, their call sign, and maybe a weather report, that tells you what part of the United States that you're able to hear, because you're actually hearing them live from their particular site using their radios. So again, it's a good piece of information about propagation on the shortwave bands. And as you can see over in this column, it's all these shortwave bands. There's the 80 meter, 40 meter, 20 meter. Here's even up and higher at 21 megahertz. And these go on all during the day. And as you see, it's a long list. Now, some of this stuff is obsolete. I think it said at the top it was last updated November of last year. So it's fairly recent. Here's a Collins Radio Association net. Now, I used to follow this one because a good friend of mine was, actually he was a president of the Collins Radio Association. I believe it was a radio association. It was something to do with Collins. And he had, or has, a lot of mint old Collins radios. And he gave me one that was in mint condition. It's sitting here next to me. It's a big, big radio. And he had cleaned it up, and it was almost pristine, except it had a scratch on it. And he was, he's really interested in having a pristine radio. And he got another radio just like it that didn't have a scratch on it. And so he gave me this one because this was surplus to his needs, and I really appreciate it, and I've used it a lot. It's a great radio. So anyway, you can see I just haven't got to the bottom of this. This list just goes on and on and on. And then here's the color coding for these various nets up here. And it's like here is gray is a military service net. And you can listen if you're not in the military. You probably can't join the net, but you can listen, and it could get quite interesting. Here's an emergency net as needed. Those are interesting to listen to when we have a disaster someplace. For instance, when we had the hurricanes going through down south of Florida and really tearing up those countries down there, you could listen to these nets and you could hear amateur radios operators communicating back and forth from the United States down there and the activities that were going on. So check out this website. I'll put the link, because it's kind of a convoluted link because it is a Google Doc. And so I'll put the link in the description below this video. But it's you can go through these and check them out. You might find some you'll actually like to listen to. You care about the content. But again, I use it as a reference to find out how the band activities are. So let me just go back to my radio here, and we'll take it off mute.
There you go. It's a mess. It's 40 degrees here this morning, Tom. It feels real good. And it sure beats the heck out of
Now you can see this is the 80 meter band. You can see there's a lot of activity down here this morning. Now it's probably local activity in that it's probably in the United States, but there's a lot of activity. You can go to, as I showed in the website or the Google Doc on the internet. These nets are going on around the clock, various times, various nets, and various frequencies. And I don't even think this particular one, and I could be off frequency a little bit, it's probably 39.45 or 39.50. Now let me go back and just see if there's one in there at this time, and this time is 11:11, so that would be way up here. Let's just see what's on 11:11. There's a 39.12. There's a 39.90. There's a 39.80. And there's a 39.40. So let's try 39.12. Let's see if I can hear anything. Now again, some of this information may be outdated, and you could click on these websites to find out if the information is correct or still valid. So let's go back. Let's say 39.12. Try 39.12. Okay, do I see anything on the waveform? I don't see, right this minute, I don't see anything on the waveform at 39.12. Excuse me. But again, it's just another source of information about what's going on shortwave, in this case, the amateur radio band. So you can use these nets to tell you if there's activity on certain shortwave bands, and then you can go to international broadcast stations on that band if there is activity. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate everybody that stops by and watches my videos. If you have a subject that you'd like me to talk about, please let me know. If you have a radio that I've reviewed in the past, because I've been reviewing radios now for about 4 years, and I enjoy going back to a radio that I've already reviewed to answer specific questions, because a lot of these radios have so many features that I don't go over all of them when I do the initial reviews. Have a great day. Bye-bye.